Hello, wonderful audience, and a very good morning to everyone. This is me, Maryam Zulfiqar, training Valley, working as Vice Principal at Rehan School Online Academy and Facilitator at Rehan AI Teachers Institute, Teacher Training Bootcamp for 2 months, and Facilitator at Rehan School Golden Club for senior citizens who are having age 65 years above. Welcome to all of you in my today's episode of the Trainers Podcast. Today, I have a very wonderful and special guest in my studio, and his name is Robin Hughes. Basically, he born in New Zealand and he got the nationality of Australia as well. And now he's working in Cambodia, and he's Synergistic Catalyst and CEO, Chief Experiencing Officer of Connector Academy, and he's working for this in Cambodia. So I welcome him, and I'm so humbled and obliged that he gave me time. And let's explore about his journey. And he is also head facilitator as well. So let's explore lots about Robin, and let's talk to him. Assalamu alaikum, sir. Hello, and how are you?
Hello, Maryam, and hello, everyone. Thank you very much for having me with you, Maryam.
Yeah, thank you so very much, sir. And I would really appreciate and I request you please introduce yourself about your academic career and your life journey so that me and the audience can know about you.
Okay, so I guess starting point is when I was at high school, right? So I always loved learning. I had a lot of difficulties with learning from when I was young because I was developmentally delayed, and I had to catch up at school, but I caught up. And then at high school, I got quite sick, and so it meant that I could not go and onto university and study. I planned to get a PhD in ecology and environmental science because I was very passionate about that since I was about 8 years old, since I was young, because I want to make a difference in the world. So I had planned out what I wanted to do. I wanted to go and study and study and study and go all the way, and then go and work maybe in Sahara, near the Sahara, maybe in the Sahel or whatever in Africa, and work on desertification. So I came from a place where I was so sick that I couldn't study effectively, and I put my attention onto my well-being and health. How could I fix my well-being so that I could study and live life the way that I wanted to? And as part of that, I was distracting myself from the pain and how I was feeling by playing games. And some games you can learn a little bit, which is good. But I wanted to be able to learn, and I wanted to be able to earn money playing games because I'm putting all this work and effort into games. It would be good if I could get more reward for it. No, Jasmine. Sorry about that. So I started to research it, right? I started to research into games and how they could provide more value. So about around the year 2000, like the games industry just crashed. The educational games industry crashed because they flood the market with cheap games and cheap and free games, and then there's no money in making educational games anymore. And so it just killed it. But I also looked at paid, we called them paid to play games back then. I think now they're called play to earn or something. They changed the name. But with crypto side of things coming through. So I was focused on that, and I have just another pop person from Rehan keep messaging me. Sorry about that. Yes, and so I researched that and research that and try to understand problems and solve problems. So always interested in things like desertification, problems that affect people. And I ended up going to Cambodia as a volunteer and teaching English in Cambodia. And I worked with one of the organizations I worked with was called the Leadership and Character Development Institute. And I saw what they were doing for youth and how they were helping dropouts and kids that were too poor and didn't have an opportunity to study to develop the skills that they needed for work. And when I had my own, I got involved with the Games for Change movement, and I was involved with, I was doing game producing, and we worked on one of the games I worked was a peace building game. But some of the games were involved with education, like a game on educating about melanoma. And when I was working with people in games, I saw this issue of the gap between being in study, whether that's school or university, and getting through to work. Like a lot of organizations that require that you have 3 years work experience before you can work. So this is a big barrier to learning. So I wanted to help in this way. So, I have interest. I want to help people that don't have the opportunity to study or learn, whether that's because of poverty or because of poverty of circumstance. Maybe they have a neurodiverse or have a mental illness, or they have a past that's meant that they, because of behavior issues, they cannot study. So wherever it is people that are stuck between learning and work, I want to help people get across. And I want to help businesses as well and help people move across from learning into work to get paid from their learning, but also for work to be enjoyable. So I want to incorporate in play so that people can learn, work, and play, and be focused on their well-being all at the same time. So this is my vision, to create what I call a connector platform, which is a I call it social experience platform. So it's like LinkedIn or Facebook, but it is immersive, fully experiential. It gets people off devices and going and doing things and coming back. And that's what my passion is how can we make a difference for people? And then that goes across different people. So I see that you're working with people that are over 65, right? For me, in my past, I worked in low vision, right? I provide training for people in low vision on how to use reading machines, big electronic magnifiers that help them to be able to read. They make the text very big and improve the contrast. You can change the colors. It will talk back to you and all that stuff. So they're using the technology to help people. So I work with that segment as well. And there often is a lot of loneliness, right? There's a lot of loneliness and issues around that when people move past work and then they feel maybe they disconnected from their family and sometimes from their friends as their friends get older. And they're disconnected from work and from meaning. And that's where I think there's a lot of potential for, and more and more people are not retiring anymore or they're going back to work, where people can learn skills and mindset and skills and other things that they need for, and not necessarily, it's nice to have extra income, but also for their own well-being and sense of purpose and be able to give back and help other people. So if we can, through what we're doing and what Rehan's doing, if we can help people to have more meaningful lives, particularly when they get older, that's also useful, right? How can people have a lot of experience that they bring from their life, but they need to be able to connect that with what's useful in the modern world and be able to connect that with young people and make a difference for the young people as well.
Okay, thank you so very much, Mr. Robin, for your wonderful introduction, and you explained very well about the whole thing that you were done in the past and right now you're doing in the present moment. The first question I just want to know about the title you just added your name like Synergistic Catalyst. What does it mean to you?
So synergy is about things working together. So people talk about when you combine things, you get more than the sum of the parts. So you increase the value by combining things together. So it's understanding about how things work together and how you can get more by getting. So that example of that is learn, work, play, and well-being or being, combining that together. So I do that in, like, at the moment I've been looking at mindset, and so I combine English language learning, whether it's writing, phonics, grammar. I combine it with mindset, so people are learning mindset at the same time. So they're learning, I said learn first things first, so that they're focused on what's going to help them for their life and help them to learn faster and more effectively. So by combining things, what we can do is we can get more impacts, more benefit. So by combining play with learning, we can learn faster, right? We can, when combining with work, we can increase our productivity. And with our play, we can, by learning stuff and by earning some money from it, we can make it sustainable, and we can make it so that we're growing and improving and getting better. We're doing something useful with our time to improve ourselves so that we can help improve the world around us, so we can increase the value. So synergy can be also combining, you have young people that are learning and you have older people that have a lot to contribute. Okay, but so the young people can learn from the older people, and the older people can provide their wisdom and knowledge, and together you have the energy and you have the wisdom. You can get more benefit than anybody by themselves. We're limited. As soon as we combine different abilities and skills, we can get more than some of our parts. We can make much more difference. We can make much more impact. And that's what I want to see, is I want to see a better world. I want to see us working together to make things better.
Yeah, definitely.
The catalyst
That's
part,
actually... Yeah, continue, please.
Continue. The catalyst part is the part about change, right? The catalyst is in the background, and it enables change. So other things can change more easily because the catalyst is there. And so Catalyst, in terms of personal development, Catalyst is focused on making things easier to change and grow. But it does come from the catalyst, like a chemical catalyst, that concept. But yeah, and for chemical, it's more associated with just the fact that it's being there makes other things easier. When it comes to personal development and transformation, we're more focused on more of being a change agent and helping make change easier. So I talk a lot about allowing. How can we allow things to be easier? How can we allow change to happen? How can we allow love and a belief to affect our behavior and affect our mindset, so that what we're doing is coming from good things, from good mindset.
Okay, that actually works. You know what this is all about? When we are training or delivering something to the other people, that's actually related to the mindset. Because first we need to work on the mindset so that we can deliver and collaborate with different kind of the people. That's really helpful for us as well as the other people too. Yes, I really agree with that. Mr. Rabin, you are working in Cambodia, but you were born in New Zealand, and you explained to us that when you started the work, that was a little hindrance for you, that you don't have any kind of experience, like you never worked about this thing and you don't have a hands-on experience on it. So what you suggest to those adults or the graduates who wants to work with any kind of the niche, they already have the graduation or the high school degree, but they don't have kind of experience, so how they can start it, as you started as a volunteer English teacher there, and you want to teach English in Cambodia. So how you suggest to them how they can start it without any work experience?
Well, if you can start early enough, well, the earlier you start, the better, really. You need to develop a portfolio, right? You need to be able to show what you can do. So if you don't have a degree and you don't have the right formal experience, then you need to get it. And so the way to do that is to start when you're studying, build a portfolio as you're studying, show evidence of your work, okay? You need to be able to show what you can do. Don't rely on a degree, right? You want to be able to show not just that you can do the work, but that you can work together with other people, that you have what you often call soft skills, right? But really a lot of soft skills comes down to mindset. So you need to have the right mindset, and then you need to be able to connect with other people. You need to be able to work with other people, and you need to be able to get the results, but you also need to have the process, show the process of your work to be able to show that you can do it. But I think there is a great need also for business and learning organizations to focus more on that gap. What do students need to be able to cross over from one to the other? So that means on the school side, it means focusing more on skills that are important for work, and on the work side, that may mean looking earlier at the students before they get to the stage of working for you. How can they be ready by the time they work for you? How can you help foster students from earlier to be developing the skills, so that by the time you employ them, they are ready? And then how can you, as they come into your work, how can you make the onboarding experience suitable so that people can get up to speed quickly, and so that they can so we can reduce the friction for people. We can reduce the obstacles, so make it easier. I think it is challenging. So I think that's where people work together, and then we can get the results. So, Rehan School, its approach is, I think in many ways is the right one, right? Because it's focused on developing the skills that are needed for work, and for freelancing and for earning. And as we can attach that to traditional learning and make sure that the students have all they need to succeed, right? So I guess it's a little bit of a journey that we're going on, that Rehan School's going on, and it's a journey that I'm going on as well, is looking at how can we make things better for people? How can we close the gap? And so for me, I'm looking a lot at processes and tools and apps and games, and how we can bring everything together to ensure that the connection between learning and work is really good and really, really easy for people to move between. As I say, for me, that, I use AI, right? I work with AI and different tools. And some things that I do, I work outside of what I've seen other people do. So some of the work I do is very innovative. Even things like the way that I incorporate mindset into English learning, or combine technology and English learning. When we combine these things, then we can increase our results. We can get better results, because when we're learning English, for example, it has more meaning because it's connecting across to the technology, and it's connecting across to what does it mean in the job. And we bring mindset in as well. We're connecting everything together. We're connecting people from business. You can connect people. You can connect people that are older and wiser, retired, that maybe still want to make an impact. You connect students that are young. You connect schools. You connect everybody together and say, okay, we are doing so many good things. How can we bring everything together and create something that's better for everyone? And so that's why I am so passionate about collaborating and working with other people, including Rehan School.
That sounds great, but you know what? The English is basically now the communication language is most important. So English is really important to communicate and network with each other, so that we can understand and we can actually deliver our perspective to each other. That actually means a lot. Um, yes, we are working on the same cause. Like you are also working to eliminate the poverty, to help the others how they can be a better citizen of any kind of the country or the state. That actually means a lot, which we are already working in Pakistan and Iran school system. Yes, we really appreciate that when we'll work together on the same cause that you are already working on it. My next question is related to head facilitation that you're providing right now. What does mean to you like head facilitation, and what are the responsibilities on you have to accomplish on daily basis, or what is the kind of the role that you define yourself like head facilitator?
I I I don't have a lot of people to work with to facilitate at the moment, right? So I would like to have more staff and people to work with, but at the moment I don't have the funds to do that. So, but coaching and facilitation are very similar, right? So I facilitating change, and that is very important. So I focus on the transformation aspect of facilitation. How can we facilitate? How can we ask the right questions and create the right environment? So my title, Chief Experience Officer, is focused on that. Is how can we create the right experience? So that goes beyond just facilitation to help enable people to change and transform and to be better, right? To keep improving, and so that's always what I'm focused on is yes, asking the right questions, but also the whole environment. So you know that I wanted to be an environmental scientist or ecologist, and that's all about how things fit together and work together, and about the environment and that kind of thing. So when I get into game producing again, it's about how can experiences, and I got involved with the Games for Change movement. How can we use the experiences to help make it easier for people to transform and change, okay, and become better? So as a facilitator, I don't get to do as much as that as I would like, but facilitation is often seen in terms of meetings. It's about asking the right questions and helping people move through the conversation through to by asking good questions and getting good answers that are helpful for us. So in terms of asking questions, right? The questions we ask are important. People say there's no wrong questions, and that's to a degree that's true. But there are questions that lead to good answers, and there's questions that lead to poor answers. So if we can practice at improving the questions we ask, we can help facilitate better outcomes, right?
Right. I mean, even you are actually bridging the two people, and then you try to initiate the conversation and delivering the messages to each other, so that will be really helpful for both of them. So it will really kind of a good connection between them. So that means facilitation to you.
Yeah, facilitation a lot is about asking the right questions. It's about enabling people to have good conversations that lead to good
Yeah.
outcomes, right? So as a
Okay.
facilitator, usually we talk about in relationship to meetings. We want to have a productive meeting that gets good results, and it's a good experience for everyone, right?
Yeah, that actually works for everyone. Um. As you didn't complete your high school degree, but still you are teaching lots of kids about the English language and the communication skills, basically. And what do you think, Mr. Robin, the people who don't have the graduation or the high school degree, but they have very good skills, so how they can excel without the degrees and with skills? And what about those people who don't have the skills, but they have a high school degree as well as the graduation? So in your opinion, how the both you can compare their upgradation or the skillful life that they can develop for themselves?
Okay, so you're talking about two situations, right?
Yeah,
One where they have the degree but not the skills,
yeah,
and the other one where they have the skills but not the degree, right? So for
exactly.
me, I finished high school, right? I finished, but I was not at school a lot for the last year, right? So I struggled through it and I completed it, even though that I was very sick. So that's the type of person I am, that I like to stick with things and I like to complete. So even though it was very hard, I still completed it, right? There's no way that I could pass when I was sick so much that I wasn't there enough. So not a result of my capability. If I was well, I could have would have not been too much difficulty to pass. But I was sick from when 15, right? And so yeah, for the last 3 years of 3 years of school, most of the last 3 years of school, right? So at least 2.5 years. Yes. So as for your question, in terms of if you have skills but you don't have qualification, then you need to be able to show your work, right? You need to be able to show what you can do. Okay, so as soon as possible, start showing what you can do, and that's good. At Rehab School, you focus on show. You do what you do, interviews, you create stuff, you put it on Facebook. You're showing all the time. You're showing what you can do. That is awesome. Okay, that's what you need to be doing. If you want to be able to show what you can do, join a program like Rehab School, and do it. Show what you can do. Go through it. Maybe that's an opportunity in the future for people that are in that situation to have a program that is focused on that, on actually doing and showing, right? That's for the students that are at that point, for people that have skills but are afraid to show, and that's something I'm happy to work with on something program like that. So we have that situation that you need to be able to show. You can go and you can join teams of people like I did, who are just teaming up for fun and for experience and to be able to show things. There are difficulties with that because a lot of the time the projects never finish. And so if you have an unfinished project, then you can show the working of what you did, some of the working you did on the way. But if you go too big like that and it's not finished, then you can't show the finished product, right? So that's where you may be better to do something smaller that you can do by yourself. Okay, it's on you to develop the skills to ensure that you can finish. And that, when I've been looking at that in the terms of game producing and game development, is develop skills that mean that you're not reliant on other people, right? Because until you have other people to work with, if you are missing gaps and you cannot finish, you need to keep things to the size that you can manage. In terms of mindset, we tend to have difficulties with mindset where we limit things because we see what we can't do. We want to do all these cool things, and then we can't do it, and then we get stuck, right? What we need to do is more like with games. You simplify things down to a level that is easier and more enjoyable, and that you can do. So rather than, we need to think of abundance, in terms of abundance mindset. When we only have a little bit, we need to think about what can we do to get results with what we have, instead of trying to get results with what we don't have. And that's a big mistake I made, I've struggled with, is I was trying to do big things, and you need to start small. It's much better to start small and be able to show something, right? And that's what you're doing at Rehan, right? You start small, you can do something. You could even start smaller, which is what I'm needing to do with my students, because the situation is different. Because I run part-time rather than full-time, and the students that I have, I need to work with them where they are at. So we need to be aware of that. Okay, so for people that have the qualification and not the skill, right? It's easy enough to develop skills, right? Because the internet is full of knowledge and tutorials and stuff on how to develop skills. So you can develop the skills. If the main difficulty is knowing where to start and what to do in order to get where you want to end up, right? So some people, they never get the qualification. They just go and they focus on skills, right? And some people even dropped out of university. They say, okay, this is ridiculous. I'm learning too slow at university. I can learn faster online, and I can show my skills. I can start a business. I can be successful already. I don't need to do that. So we need to focus on not just studying for the sake of studying, not get a degree for the sake of getting a degree, but to get a degree so we have skills. And so when we study, we should be, as I say before, we should be creating a portfolio. We should be focusing on showing what we can do. So again, you could go to something like Rehan School, and you could go and fill it in and focus on developing skills and being able to show what you can do, right? So that's a good starting point. Over time, I think the Rehan School is heading in this direction, is specializing, being able to specialize in more areas, right? And that's something that as things grow, it will be easier and easier, especially we've got AI help as well, to create pathways for people that are very specific to where they want to end up. This is how you develop the skills you need to get to here. And when you get to there, you can work, right? We want to get people working as soon as possible. If they can produce useful stuff, then they can start earning while they're learning, right? And when they earn, then they can go to the next, okay, this is where I want to go next and next. And then maybe they want to go, want some fancy occupation, but they can do it step by step. And they can, for somebody that's poor, particularly, you can earn your way to where you want. It might take you longer, but then you have the experience and the skills, and you develop the portfolio so you can show what you can do, right? And if you can show what you can do, the piece of paper is just paper, right? The difficulty is then when you cannot show what you can do, the piece of paper help recruiters to filter, right? It helps them to filter, so they think that if you have a degree, then you're more likely to be able to be good at their job, okay? But if people can really see what you can do, if you can really show them what you can do, then people still employ you, right? The problem is that gap, getting seen, getting visible, and the degree can open the door to be able to allow you to show what you can do. So without the degree, it's not impossible. It just can be more difficult, right? Because you have to be able to get through and show people. But the skills, at the end of the day, you can develop the skills while you're working. But if you get into a job and you cannot do the work, then maybe you're not going to stay there very long, right? So you cannot just having the qualification without the skills is not great. Some people, maybe they can bluff their way through, but I think people can tell, right, that you don't know what you're doing.
Okay, that's really amazing. You explained it very well there. Without any kind of a skill, your degree is just a piece of paper. You need to develop some kind of a skill along with your degree that will be really helpful for you in the future, as well as your starting point where you just want to start without any kind of a work experience. That's really helped you when you have some kind of a skill. And yeah, it really works if any kind of people they have already working on the skill, so that they can develop their portfolio. And eventually, without experience, the portfolio always help them to get some kind of a job, some kind of a earning. So that's really work for them. Thank you so very much, Mr. Robin.
Yeah.
I learned lots of new things and different opinions that you shared with us, and that's really work for this system. And I'm amazed that you already work on the same thing that we are working in this Rehan school system. So that's really good to know about your system and yourself as well. And wish you very good luck. And lastly, I just request you, from whole your experience that you started a while ago and years ago, what you three think learn from the system that you actually want to share with us as a learner, so that we can learn from you.
Just one thing from what you said before is, yeah, a lot of people get, well, some people get recruited before they leave school. They get recruited before they leave university. And why is it? It's because of their mindset and because of them being able to show what they can do. People believe in them that they can do the work, right? And so they really wanting them before they've even left school or before they've even left university or whatever it is. Okay, so that's a really important point, right? Be that person that people want to employ, right? That people can see that they are a good person to work for them. In terms of what I'm doing, I can't overemphasize the importance of mindset, right? Because it makes so much impact on everything. So with what I'm doing, it's about the foundations. It's about having that mindset, having good attitude, and having good behaviors that build good futures. So if getting a good starting point so that you can learn faster, you can make more impact, you can get to where you're wanting to go faster while changing the world, while making things better. So that's what I'm about, right? We are here to help people make more impacts. We're here to help people improve the experience of people around them, improve the experience of their families, their friends, the people they work with, improve the experience of everybody, so that we can all live better lives, so we can all have a better experience together.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Robin, once again, and I'm honored to have you in this podcast series. Thank you so very much for your wonderful time and your all the knowledge that you shared with us. Thank you so very much once again. And thank you so much, audience, who can watch me live regarding this podcast on my Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube account. I'll be right back with another amazing guest. And then, till then, take it. Take good care of yourself, and Allah Hafiz. Thank you so very much, Mr. Robin, and take good care of yourself. Goodbye.
Thank you, Maryam.